Welcome back. I've got some more Browns news for you. The one video is up. My part one is uploaded. This will be a two-part podcast. The NFL is considering fourth and 15 onside kick proposal, among other rule changes. Excuse me. Teams could choose to forego an onside kick instead of an attempt at fourth and 15. A play from 15 instead of a fourth and 15 play from their own 25-yard line. When trailing in a game, to attempt to retain possession of the ball under a proposed rule up for a vote at next week's virtual league meetings. Rule changes pertaining to kickoffs have made onside kicks nearly impossible to recover at ends of games. And the change proposed by the Philadelphia Eagles could add a layer of excitement to the ends of close games. It's a rule Browns special teams coordinator Mike Priefer might not favor, even while acknowledging the onside kick needs some adjustments. I am not in favor of a fourth and 15 from the 25 or whatever it was, Priefer said in a press conference in February. I think that is silly, and I think you can make some changes to it. The player is going to kick the ball. The player that is going to kick the onside kick, and then you can have a running start or something. Still a safe enough play, but it needs to be a play where you have a higher percentage of getting the kick. Another significant rule change proposed by both Baltimore and the LA Chargers would add a commonly referred to as a sky judge, adding a booth umpire as an eighth official to the officiating crew. These two teams also proposed adding a senior technology advisor to the referee to assist the officiating crew. The Eagles have also proposed a rule to make permanent the expansion of automatic replay reviews to include scoring plays and turnovers negated by a foul and successful or unsuccessful try attempt. Two other rule proposals apply to clock management regarding penalties. Miami is proposing a rule which would provide the option to the defense for the game clock to start on the referee's signal if the defense declines on offense penalty that occurs late in either half. The competition committee is proposing a rule to prevent teams from manipulating the game clock. Clock by committing multiple dead ball fouls while the clock is running. The competition committee is also seeking to expand defensive player protection to a kickoff or punt receiver or returner, who is in possession of the ball but who has not had the time to avoid or ward off the impending contact of an opponent. Now, all these proposals must be approved by 75%, 24 of the owners to be adopted. Now, I can see some of these rules being changed, but I can understand why Priefer does not favor these rules, and I can understand why. And I do feel that some of these rules need to be adjusted and have some changes made to them. So we'll have to see what happens with these rules, and so I'll keep you updated on this story. And we'll get to some NBA news and Cavs news in just a moment. But right now, it is time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who is the winningest coach in NFL history? And if you said the late Don Shula, you are correct. The late, great Don Shula, who is known primarily for coaching the Miami Dolphins from 1970 to 1995, has won 347 games during his 32-year career. And he is the only head coach to have had an undefeated season by coaching the Miami Dolphins to the Super Bowl and having a 17-0 season. I have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Will there be baseball? The MLB commissioner and MLB executives are still in negotiations, and Major League Baseball could begin as early as 4th of July weekend. And they are going to have some workouts and a few weeks of spring pre-training to get these players ready for the season, should baseball make its return. And they want to, and there could be the deadline for that is a week away, and that's probably by the end of this month or by June 1st. And some of the Clevenger is 100% recuperating from his knee injury, and he should be back in time for the season to begin on July 4th weekend. And Carlos Carrasco is doing very well, and he is in a very good position. And he's still been only going 3 innings after going through the leukemia treatments last year, making a miraculous recovery, and also recovering from an injury. But they are favoring, if we do have baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers to win the World Series this year. But we'll see what happens. But they're still in talks and negotiations, and they must make a decision. Have deadlines by the end of this month, May 30th or 31st, or by June 1st at the latest. The NBA is still in talks about finishing out the postseason, having their postseason and finishing out and crowning a champion. And when that will happen, we don't know as of yet, but hopefully we'll find out sometime in June. Maybe that will start up in June or sometime in or beginning or middle of June. Hopefully they can finish out the regular season and do the postseason. As Larry Nance Jr. said a while back, the NBA does need to crown a champion. And the NHL is still in talks and negotiations to whether or not they're going to finish out their regular season and do the postseason and crown a champion. So, and I think their deadline is June 1st as well. I think hopefully by mid-June or end of June or sometime in July, they'll get their season going. And the NFL still is going to start its season on time. That's what they're hoping for, and hopefully that's what they're anticipating. So we'll see. I'll let you know, keep you updated on these developing stories. So my final thoughts here. I really think that that I feel I understand why Mike Prefer is not favoring these rules, and I feel they do need to be changed a bit and have some adjustments made to them, and I feel that these Richardson could be out and so Beckham and Vermin, and they want to free up some money and really keep the flexibility of the cap space, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with all this, and I'll keep you updated on these developing stories, and I really feel these they're going to want to free up some space, and I think there could be a few veteran players that could be out by the time at the end of next season. So I'll keep you updated on these developing stories. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this two-part podcast of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with another podcast this weekend, hopefully on Saturday or Sunday, but until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.